Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Let's update you on the Lori Vallow Daybell case. As you know, if you're following this case, that she has been arrested in Hawaii and is currently in the local county jail waiting her day in court to be extradited back to Idaho. But currently there was a court date set, I think, for the 2nd of March, but this was an emergency. I guess her lawyer filed to lower her bail from 5 million to 10,000, and that is by her lawyer Craig DeCasta, the attorney for Daybell. And he requested a hearing to discuss the matter, stating his client is not a flight risk and the bail is excessive considering the charges Daybell faces. Really? Abandonment of your children? Not bringing them to the courts as she was ordered to, and given at least 3 chances in 3 different ways to produce her kids in person, via video, via a legit news crew, and she did not apply those orders. So they arrested her, and they have a good reason to arrest her too. These children have been missing for 5 months. Her stories changed to their whereabouts. They're with this person, they're with this person, they're with this person. Her daughter's at college. There is a number of excuses she has been using to where her kids are at any given time. But the truth is, these children were not where she said they were. And she asked people to lie to that fact. And these people have come forward and stated that to be a fact. And they don't want no part of this. And we really don't know what's going on, but yet we do. One burning question in everybody's mind is, why such secrecy to where the children are? What is the reason for the secrecy? And where are they? Now, her daughter is 17 years old. She's nearly an adult. She has no vehicle. She has no credit card because her mother has it. They have no phone because her mother has it. She has no birth certificate because her mother has it. She has all the documents that her daughter, Tylee, would need to enroll in school, to enroll in home studies, to enroll in any college, to get a job. I mean, there's lots of reasons why her daughter would need this documentation. Now, her daughter was been driving for a little while, I guess, and she would go everywhere in that car she had, that truck, the Jeep, and suddenly she doesn't have it anymore. She talks to her friends a lot, and suddenly she doesn't. It's all stopped. She stopped communicating with everybody. But the main reason is, why would you hide your kids when you really are not running from anybody? You're not running from anybody. Your husband, your other husband, was shot dead, and you had no remorse. Minutes after the fact, you were laughing like, the police were asking you questions and you were just worried about what your neighbors are thinking. You weren't panicking. You weren't in tears. You wasn't scared. And you even went to a pool party later that day. Not just only that, people are dropping like flies, disappearing off the face of the earth. In one family, 2 families. Your husband, Chad's wife suddenly died, and you 2 were married and went to Hawaii? Now that takes some... I don't know when that was planned, when the wedding and the hotel and the flights were made. Because you were gone within weeks and married of the death of Tammy. Now the friends say that you were seen kissing and holding Chad's hand when he was a married man. And there is lots of things that Chad has said about it's taking or takes a long time for the spirit to leave the body. You're talking about your wife? Well, anyway, it just goes on like that. And so today, her attorney got her filed for an emergency hearing to lower the bail. As we know, JJ and Tylee have been missing from Idaho since September. Now she's in jail on 2 felony counts of child abandonment, resisting and or obstructing an officer. Also a solicitation and contempt. Daybell had her initial appearance in court on Friday, where her attorney, Daniel Dempsey, asked for the bail to be lowered to $10,000. And of course, the request was denied. And Daybell's next court appearance was scheduled for Monday, March the 2nd. And she is fighting extradition to Idaho. But another attorney, Craig, filed for another appearance in court for it to be lowered today, which is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 p.m. their time. It's 7 o'clock Eastern Time is when she is going to have her court appearance to get her bail lowered. There are some bank records that have been out circulating that he doesn't have $500,000 in the bank. Now, I don't know about this 144,000 club. Like they said, if everybody in this cult, this members in this cult, will give so much money, like 30, 34, something, $35 each, they would have the $500,000. So where are all these members scattered in the USA? Where are they? Are they holding out, hiding out in Hawaii, waiting for July to come? And what were they going to do when this coming came? Commit suicide? What were they going to do? Mass suicide? Well, I don't know what their goal is, but they're delusional. You know that, guys, they're delusional. And, but whatever their beliefs are, they're out of this world. Out of this world. It's just, they've all been brainwashed into believing in something that is not real. It's not real. Now, I don't mind people in church and doing what they believe in, but this is outrageous and crazy, and it's a cult, and you've just been brainwashed. That's all I know, and a lot of other people feel the same. So today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 26th of February 2020 is when the court hearing is. Now, court documents obtained by EastIdahoNews.com show Lori's husband, Chad Daybell, had $152,000 in the First Hawaiian Bank account, and prosecutors argue she could leave Hawaii if bail is lowered. Yes, she could. They have enough money. And indeed, I don't know where they would run to, because you're on an island now, surrounded by ocean. You can't hide in Hawaii, that's for sure. You cannot hide in Hawaii, and the only way out is by boat or plane. And you will be on the FBI's list. And given the extensive media attention, she is clearly aware that the authorities have prioritized her case. She also has the means to move across an ocean. Yes, she does. She has the means, but that doesn't mean she will be getting on a plane or a boat unless she's got some connections and who is willing to risk their career to rescue them from the courts. Hey, why run? Why hide when you have nothing to run or hide from? All you have to do is show the kids. Show the kids. That's all they're asking. That's all anybody was asking at first. That's it. Now, we all know that JJ needed medication, which medication was found unused and not, well, his prescription has never been refilled. And he has not been seen since he has been taken out of the school he was at. Meanwhile, the Madison County Prosecutor's Office issued 3 subpoenas Tuesday in relation to the case. The owner of Daybell's Hawaii rental home on the beach resort were ordered to turn over any or all record documents, reports, or other information in your possession which pertain to Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell from August the 1st, 2019 until now. Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg was also served subpoena for any or all record documents, reports of any information in their possession which pertain to Joshua, from July the 1st, 2019 until now. The records must be delivered to Madison County Courthouse by 9 a.m. on March the 9th. The Hawaiian police wrote in a news release that Valo is being held on a $5 million bond. She was charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children, as well as arrest seizures, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court, as well as willful disobedience of court process or order. She will be extradited to Idaho, where the children were last seen. The Hawaiian police said there are no indication the children were in Hawaii at any time since the disappearance in September. In what is a extremely tangled web, Valo's new husband, Chad Daybell, was also being sought for questioning by federal and local law enforcement agencies, probing the disappearance of the two children, ages 7 and 17. And Daybell has not been arrested, but you never know, he may be. His wife Tammy at the time, who died just suddenly after returning from a family visit, no health problems, suddenly died and was dead hours before he reported her death. And no autopsy done because they are in cahoots with the coroner's office. They have ties with the cemetery where she is now buried. But there should be a law. Healthy women and middle-aged women, apparently no health issues known, should have had an autopsy. That is just a fact. But they said no, they didn't want one, so they didn't do one. But now her body has been had an autopsy now. See, all this expense. Now, termination of her death has not been released and probably won't be released. If there is to be a court case, it won't. But one thing that we will find out is if he is arrested, then we know they found something in the autopsy. And let's hope they do find something, because this is outrageous that they never should have been allowed not to do one. It's ridiculous. Because they know him, because they're all in this church. Well, it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And if only the grandmother had, I don't know, she couldn't have reported the children missing because at the time they wasn't. But anyway, in addition, the pair have 3 deceased former spouses between them. Yeah, this is a family thing going on here. They're dropping like flies. Not only that, we go back earlier to Lori's sister. And she is the mother of her niece that is in this cult as well. And could have been groomed into it. Because as her husband Brandon said, they were fine. The next minute she wants a divorce. The next minute she's divorced and marries another guy right away. They all marry people right away. And they all seem to marry they go somewhere else to get married. Like they went to Vegas and got married in the Lucky Chapel. Lucky Chapel. Many say not so lucky. And so what's going on? And even attempts on people's lives, even in the attempt on Tammy's life a week before, a man came up to her with I think she called it a paint gun, but it might not have been. We don't really know what it was because it happened so fast. And the person ran away. Well, we think it's probably Alex. It was Alex, Lori's brother. He seems to be on the scene of everything that's going on. But Tammy didn't know the man. And she thought it was boys messing around. But who does that? And they ran behind her house and disappeared. Next minute, she died suddenly. Now, we know Alex died suddenly too. Foaming at the mouth, or bleeding from the mouth, or whatever it was. Well, this too could have been happening to Tammy because they had enough time to clean up the scene and wait for this to be, I don't know, released from her system or something, how it works, I don't know. But it's very, very suspicious. So we don't know what's going on in this family. Are they all sick? Are they serial killers? Serial killers. Well, attempt on Brandon's life, attempt on Tammy's life, Lori's third husband is dead, an attempt on his life by her brother also, and he ends up dead. Attempts on Charles' life, and then he ends up dead. It's all connected. We cannot deny that this is all connected. And of course, Alex was on probation when Charles was killed. And I say killed because it was no way self-defense. Now, we know Tylee may have heard and seen what was going on. And of course, she had to go. But who knows if she has been brainwashed as well. We don't know. But it's been 5 months. And she was going to graduate, and all this. Why mess that up for her? And she has brothers. Now, I don't know how much she speaks to her brothers on a daily basis, but they too have not heard from her. And that's very odd too. Why go jet setting to Hawaii like you don't have a care in the world, like you do not have kids? And also, guys, she stated that she doesn't have children to different people. She stated that her daughter died a year ago, when she stated this to this person. She stated that she does not have no minor children under the age of 18. That in fact she doesn't have any children at all. Why are you doing that? She stated that she gives JJ a good dose of medication to knock him out so she can get some me time, and she enjoys that because he overwhelms her. Perhaps she never wanted this child. The only reason this child came along was because of her husband. She really didn't want to start taking care of young children. She resented it. And she was only in that relationship for the money because she is a black widow. And this looks to be the case, that she's only in these marriages for the money. Now there's new release of videos of her when she was young, Miss Texas. She won on the family, was it Wheel of Fortune, in the past, and she wanted a jet set life, and she made sure that she married people that could give her a lifestyle she thinks she deserves. And kids, she's had her older children and raised them. She doesn't want no other people's children and raising them. Resentment has set in. And of course she got into, they say she has got into this cult, and she started reading these books and has fallen into this cult-like brainwashed following. But she's been a gold digger for a long time, so she's already like that. And all these, it seems like maybe Ty Lee had got a inheritance from her father's death, and it looks like probably that Lori has been using her benefits as to keeping her in a nice resort, because Lori has her bank card, and I think that Ty Lee may have got money put in there every so often, or every month, from her father's death. And this card has been used. Now, it has been used, but they didn't exactly say who's been using it. But when you use a card, they know where it's being used. So, you know, they have that information. And they know at what time and what day of the month it's being used, and where, and what for. Now, we know Chad had at least a $400,000 something life insurance on his wife, which he has probably gone through living in Hawaii and paying for this resort and a nice place to live in a gated community. And these homes are in the millions. So you know it's a nice neighborhood, nothing but the best for them too. But if you're not working and no more money's coming in, that money is gonna drizzle and you will end up with nothing. And where are you going from there? So even though he had this life insurance, I doubt if he gave his kids anything from their mother's death, because Lori quickly married him so she could secure that money for her own. And that's my opinion, and that is probably what happened, and that is the theories. The police from Idaho do not have these warrants for no reason. They are valid, and they have abandonment charges on them, on her, because they are her children, not his. And if you don't know where your children are and you are not supporting them, it means that you have abandoned them. Now, calling them up and sending them money for their support, if you prove that, then it wouldn't be abandonment. You have given permission for somebody to take care of your children. But if you can't produce them, you can't support your claims that you've been supporting them, been calling them up, been keeping an eye on them, make sure that they are going to school, you know which school they're going to, make sure their medication has been refilled, then you have abandoned them. And that is a big time punishment by the courts. And as we know, each state has their own laws, but a lot of laws are governed by federal laws, which makes it a felony. The authorities have revealed that they have reopened their investigation into the fall 2019 death of Daybell's wife, Tammy. As we know, her husband, author of Latter-day Saints, and his wife Tammy was in the business with her husband, and she did a lot of the covers for the book store, and we're not sure where Tammy stands in this cult, but was she also unaware of her husband's his change, like into cult-like, and his beliefs of the coming, and all that? Was she scared? Well, according to a friend, that Tammy was believing her husband was having an affair, or was told or could see the signs that her husband was having an affair, which we know he was. But nearly 30 years of marriage, she was probably a loyal wife and believed in marriage. But we don't know what she said, what she told her friends. But I'm sure that she never thought her husband would leave her, I guess. And who knows if he's had an affairs before. We don't know that yet. Nobody has come forward to say so. I mean, Lori hooked her hook into him. And who knows how long they've been planning this. They've known each other for quite a while, so who knows. According to people, Chad was a loving husband and has the support of his children in this matter. Lori Daybell is a devoted mother. Well, she may have been, but look what happened to her husbands. She is on her 5th husband. I call that a black widow. And once the well runs dry, probably Chad will be no use to her anymore. And they look forward to addressing these allegations. Well, you only had to say where the children are. Tell us where the children are. All signs going over Hawaii by plane. People were putting signs up to entrances. Where are the kids? Where are the kids? Now, we all know what that means. We all know what that means. Everywhere they go, they were being reported, you know, by the sleuths, the public, the news outcast, not outcast, but, you know, the news outlets. And they were being not really hounded, but hounded. They were being followed. Well, I think we know by now that the police, the investigators, the FBI already knew where Chad and Lori were at all times. They were waiting to get their case together. What do they have on her? They were waiting to see if they could see the children. No signs of the children. No signs. Waiting for phone calls. Any kind of sign of life to where these children may be. But there were none. And outside the home where Charles was killed, Tylee had a t-shirt on. And this is where Lori and Chad were found. It was written over Tylee's chest. Now, Kauai. It was written on a t-shirt over her chest. Is that a sign or what? Now we look back on it, we see it written on a t-shirt, and this was where they were all this time. Since they left. We thought we didn't know where they were or anything like that. They could be anywhere, but people were saying they were in Hawaii, and they have been to this place and lived there. So I don't know, is it a sign from Tylee herself to say you can find them there? We don't know, but I really do believe it was a sign. And I guess the authorities didn't really want to say they're in Hawaii or nothing because they were being investigated. They were being investigated. And they surely were being investigated, because how did the Idaho news crew know where Chad and Lori would be stopped, their car impounded at this resort? How would they know to be there at that time? Yeah. And, you know, as we are unaware, you know, we're aware of that weeks after Tammy Daybell's death, Lori and Chad told a witness or witnesses that Lori's daughter had died a year before, and the death of her father, which is untrue. Now her father's dead, and her father is not. I don't know what's going on in this family, but she's got some serious issues, because who tells people their children are dead? Family members are dead. Well, a con artist, a fake, somebody trying to get you to feel sorry for them, to woo them in, to help you out, to get what you want. A narcissist, a chameleon. Around the same time, Chad told another witness that Lori had no minor children. Now, he told them that she had no children. Now, he's just in it as much as she is in deep in this crap of lies, web of lies. Now, Chad was seen outside of the county jail in Hawaii where Lori's being held, and he tried to interview him. Can you just tell us where the children are? And he never said, oh, Lori don't have any children. She don't have any children. So I wouldn't know where they are, because she told me she never had any children under the age of 18. No minor children. He didn't say nothing, so he did not deny it. He didn't deny it. He said, what have you got to say? And he said, well, he's thanking the public for the support they're getting. Thanking the public for the support they are getting. Are you delusional? You don't get no support. We're not supporting you or Lori for the disappearance of the two children, JJ and Tylee. I don't know where he got that from, but he thanks the public for their support, and he has nothing to say about Lori. And then he went on and went into the jail to visit his wife, who apparently has lost her curls to her hair. When we see her in the courts on the 26th of February 2020, to try to have her bail reduced from 5 million to 10,000, which the judge denied on Friday, which she denied to lower her bail. And she's probably going to face the same judge. Now, they are going to say that she's not a flight risk. Oh, yes, she is. But they're going to come back with the proof. The prosecutors are going to come back with the proof that she ran from Idaho. She ran from home to home. And she left for Hawaii. If that's not running away, I don't know what is. If that's not a flight risk, I don't know what is. And facts you need to know. They need to know what happened to Joshua and Tylee. What happened to them, and where are they? That is one big question that she is going to have to answer. That's not hard to answer. It is if they're no longer on this earth. And that's the burning question That is the burning question, guys. Where you only have to answer that. Attempt to court for not producing the children. Now, we do know that it looks like Ty Lee was last seen with Lori and her brother at Yellowstone National Park, which is full of snow right now. She was seen in photos. She was seen coming in, I guess. But it looks like she wasn't seen coming out. But that's for the FBI to know, and are not releasing everything, as you know. And there is other facts you need to know that pertain to this case. The medication not being refilled, school records not being asked for, forwarded, her brother's death, her brother shooting Charles twice, the religious group, her third husband's death, her brother's beating up, assaulting her third husband, who is now dead. He was also on probation for her niece's husband's life, attempted murder, they are all involved in this, plus Chad's wife, Tammy. Now, this is a Lifetime movie, isn't it? How can this happen in one family to one person? What's the odds of that? What is the odds to that? And of course we know, Chad is the author of the LDS books. Some people who know Lori allege she was influenced by a cult. Yeah, right. So what they're saying is not Lori's fault. It's Chad's fault. It's all Chad. Now, does he look like the man that can influence people into believing a cult of this kind? Well, never judge a book, no pun intended, by its cover. So, but the thing is, Chad, how long has Chad been in Lori's life? Exactly. How long? Because, the third husband, and then she marries quick afterwards. It's not very long. She doesn't stay single for very long, as we know. She's out with the old, in with the new. Just like that. So, how long has she known Chad? Because if she has been brainwashed into this cult, it's very unlikely that is true, because of what's happened to her other marriages in her life. So it looks like the problem is mostly Lori, her brother. Now, we don't know about other relations, family relations, how they are. Did they keep their distance from Lori? Were they afraid of Lori? Were they afraid of them? Were they afraid of their brother? Did they have some kind of mental illness that we know of since they were younger? And, it's all about family secrets. It's just an opinion of mine, alleged. There might be serious problems. Were they, I don't know, molested? Were they molesting each other? Brother and sister. They have a pact, a bond. That is known to happen to siblings. One is the leader of the pack. One would do anything for the other. Something like twins. When they have that bond. There's something weird about their relationship. Wherever Lori was, her brother was. Where anything happened, that's where they were. They were even in the storage unit together. They were even there with Chad too. It's only a little storage unit. Big enough though. Big enough. With, I would say, not so, the items in there that were you would think that would be precious to you, that you would take them with you. And there was nothing that, as far as I know, nothing of theirs in there. Now, if you're traveling around, which they're going from one home to another state, back and forth. They have no possessions as such as furniture, knives and forks, bedding. They don't seem to have any of that. Even when their homes were looked into, there was no furniture. There was hardly anything. They just had enough to get by, if you know what I mean. Enough to get by. Strange that is, isn't it? This just shows you they were ready to go at any moment to wherever they have to go. Who has a home with no furniture in it? Strange that, isn't it? And even a room that you see Tylee and JJ in was empty. It looked like it didn't even have no toys in it. It just had that play mats in there, like squares, mats, all different colors. That was strange to me. I don't know about you, but that's like strange. And all they had was some clothes and a bike. And as we know, Lori had the iPad, credit card, phone, everything that would be important to a 17-year-old. That's nearly an adult. Well, nearly 18. And her car. I don't know what they found in the locker, but they were seen taking stuff in, putting stuff back in there, but not really of any importance. Not really, because one looked like a tire. Now, what happened to the... I don't know why you would bring a tire in, a tire out. It looked like a tire to me. I don't know if it was or not, but it looked like at one time a tire. Why would you bring, or even a seat in a vehicle. A seat in a vehicle. Why would you bring that in there and hide it and take it out? Well, you know why? Because it was probably taken out of a vehicle. Because it probably had bullet holes in it. Blood. Now, alleged. That's my opinion. Because why are you bringing this stuff in and out of a locker? It does not make no sense. It's useless items, I would say, in the normal way of saying that. But it might not be right now, in the light of them being missing for 5 months. So it just feels odd that you would have this locker and then you don't pay for it. Now, having pictures, you would thought that would be very important to you, are not important to you any longer. And you don't care because you ain't taking them with you. But you know, the people of this storage unit, you know, it's probably been, it's I don't know if they're calling it a crime scene or it's at least part of the investigation. So it probably is not getting rented out anymore, and the items in there are seized and in their investigation locker by now. And hopefully those precious photos will be handed back over to the family once this is all been taken care of, you know, solved, at least, and was not thrown out, you know. And thank God, you know, that the person who owns the storage locker reported it to the police when they did. The Post, well, not the Post, but she eventually deserted my brother and JJ for 2.5 months early this year. And this is probably Kay talking, Charles's sister. Charles, you know, did the best to save the marriage, of which she had no interest in saving. Well, of course she didn't. Lori didn't want to save her marriage, but she was trying to hold off on the divorce because she had to come up with a plan, and the plan was to take his life insurance of, I think they said $1 million, something like that, the life insurance, which she wanted. But on July the 11th, 2019, in Chandler, Arizona, Charles went to Lori's home, which he paid for, to get JJ and take him to school. She and her brother Alex were there. Alex shot Charles twice in the chest, killing him, claiming self-defense. 4 people were there that day: Lori, Alex, and the 2 missing children. Now, eventually, which I don't know if Lori knew, but Charles changed his life insurance over to his sister and never left it to JJ, and never left it to her. Because he knew, which was a blessing, really, because she was wanting to be widowed again. I don't know if you get money for being a widow. If, just say your husband was killed or something or whatever, I don't know. It's all to do with money. I don't know if they're trying to come up with different ways how to kill somebody or not. I don't know how to make them disappear. I don't know. I don't know if they've got any insurances out on anybody. Life insurance. Later on, were they going to claim on them, saying that they're missing and they're going to be announced legally dead at some point later on? I don't know what their plan was. It's just craziness. Vala Woodcock continued to a lengthy Facebook post. Alex mysteriously passed away on the 12th of the 12th. That's 12th of December 2019. Now, we don't even know what happened to him, because he probably had an autopsy. But funny enough, it doesn't seem like Lori cared about her brother dying, because she's too busy in Hawaii. Now, what a strange event. She never went to his funeral. It doesn't like she's missing her brother very much, does it? She went about her life. Now, did he take his life because his number was up? Because it's funny how Tammy's body was exhumed and he's taken his life. Does Lori have a suicide pill? Were they planning on taking their life? Yeah, probably in July. Is that their plan? To take their life? To go into the other world? I hope these people realize that there is not another world like that for the cult. There's not. Anybody that is being talked to this way, snap out of it, guys. Snap out of it and run. Run for your life. That's all I got to say. So guys, that's just a little update. There's plenty more. There's plenty more. That you could write a book on this alone, on these two people. You could write a book. And no doubt somebody will very soon. And so thanks for stopping by. I'll keep you updated. And little bits here and little bits there of the case. And let's hope that something good is going to come out of this. A surprising good luck that the children will appear. There's still hope, guys. There's still hope. Never give up hope. No, how daunting it looks. You never know. It just might be one cruel, vicious game they're playing. But mind you, if they are somewhere, it's the children that are suffering. Exhuming a body without family permission. Now, this is obviously from a child from Chad, one of his children, and this is what she wrote. My mother passed away October the 19th, 2019. The coroner told us natural causes. How could it be natural causes if you didn't have an autopsy? How can you tell anybody that natural causes, you have to find out why. You can't say that without doing an autopsy. Just looking at her, oh, she died of natural causes. What? At 40 something years old? In her prime? I would say yes, things can happen. You can have a heart attack. Your heart can stop at any time. Anybody's heart can stop at any time. But if you have no known diseases or healthy, she had just came back from visiting family. What was wrong with her? Did she have a cold? Did she have the flu? Did she have a virus? What did she have? And that was wrong of the coroner to say that. And you are all family friends and everything. And you decided not to have one, which is probably against the law, really. Now, anyway, go on from there. It looked like the textbook definition of heart failure. It looked like textbook definition of heart failure. What, are you an expert? Are you an expert? I don't know, but I'm beginning to think that probably the children in this household were also being brainwashed, which maybe Tammy was brainwashed too. And the death was unexpected. Yeah, we know that. It was unexpected. That's the truth. That's the only truth you're speaking there. And my family has taken it hard. Yeah, sure looks like it. Sure looks like it. Because if you had taken that hard, you would have said, well, I want to know what she died of. I want to make sure that it's heart failure, because we too may have a problem with our heart. And we want to make sure it's not running in the family. Something like that maybe. I'd be worried about it. So, do you know what I mean, guys? My dad has already remarried. A friend of the family lost her husband earlier this year, and for whatever reason, she and my dad decided to tie the knot. So she's saying her father and Lori decided to tie the knot, and she lost her husband earlier in the year. You mean he was shot dead? She just didn't lose him. He was shot and killed. And for whatever reason, my dad decided to tie the knot. She's saying this like blah, blah, blah. Like, hold on a minute. Your mother and father were married all this time, and you don't question why your father remarried in such a very, very, very short time. His wife hadn't even been in the grave. Her body wasn't even cold yet, as we say. And he got married to a person supposedly he doesn't know. Isn't that a red flag? It feels weird, but I already had a positive relationship with my new stepmom. Wow. And she has helped our family grieve. Yeah, she sure helped your family grieve. What? How long have you known her? She just married your father? You weren't even living with them? Hardly, you don't even know this woman, or do you? Or do you? She has helped our family grieve. It's definitely a weird marriage. And then she says it's a weird marriage. Both still talk of their former spouses frequently. Yeah, they yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And my father misses my mother terribly. No, he don't. No, he don't. Nearly 30 years of marriage and you take the life insurance and run to Hawaii? Yeah, that sounds like a grieving husband would do. A few neighbors, in brackets let by my aunt, in our small town have decided that since my dad remarried so quickly, he murdered my mother. Woo! Yeah, yeah, that is true. Alleged. This started out as a rumor, benign rumor, and has escalated to the point, however, they have exhumed my mom's body for an autopsy. The family had no warning. We went to visit her grave and her body was gone. It had been dug up. That's from one of Tammy's children. That is probably the daughter. You know, that nutty one acting so weird behind the camera when a newscast was reporting and she drew up by, with her car and started sticking her tongue out and doing crazy stuff. Yeah, something wrong in this family. And it probably was a cult-like family for a very long time. And that's my opinion, guys. What do you think? Well, anyway, guys, that's just a little information that was said by one of Chad's children. And they believe that they can't exhume a body without their permission. Well, they can, and they did, because she should have had an autopsy on a sudden death like this in a healthy woman with no heart problems, not taking medication for her heart. I can understand if she's taking medication for her heart and she had heart disease and they knew it, that would be a little bit, well, she had heart problems. But no autopsy, so they could not determine whether her heart was failing or not, or had been diseased in some way, or some kind of medication that she took may have poisoned her or had a violent reaction.